Robert Kiyosaki and Dave Ramsey are both multi-millionaires. They are both best-selling authors, both financial educators, but with one big difference. When it comes to how to achieve financial freedom, they both teach completely different things. One advises to get into debt, where the other's main focus is to get out of debt. One advises to invest in the stock market, and the other doesn't like stocks. One advises to start your own business, and the other never really mentions it. So what is going on? Who is right and who is more likely to make you rich? Well, that is what this video is all about. So in this video, we'll be looking at Dave Ramsey's plan for financial freedom, Robert Kiyosaki's plan for financial freedom. I'll give you clarity on why both plans are different, and then you can see which one is going to be right for you. As always, if you do find anything useful in the video, then drop a like, always appreciated. Okay, firstly, let's take a look at both plans for financial freedom. First up, we have Dave Ramsey. Ready? Let's do this. And Dave Ramsey has what he calls his 7 baby steps. And they are, number 1 is that you start building your emergency fund. Number 2 is you pay off all of your debt using a debt snowball method. And this just means you don't pay off the ones with the highest interest rate, you pay off the ones with the lowest amount that you've borrowed. Number 3 is that you save 3 to 6 months of expenses, and this is your full emergency fund. Number 4 is you begin investing 15% of your income for retirement, and this mainly will be going into the stock market. And if your employer allows, you'll also max out the contributions that you and your employer put in. Number 5 is you save for your children's college fund. Number 6 is you pay off your home early, so once everything else is being done, you aggressively pay off your home mortgage. And I guess the assumption would be if you don't yet have your own home, then you would buy a home to live in. And number 7, from there you just continue to build your wealth and give back. So that was Dave Ramsey's plan for financial freedom. Next up, let's take a look at the key teachings of Robert Kiyosaki. Take a look. And having read over 10 books from the Rich Dad Company, and I also had a Rich Dad coach for a certain amount of time, I can summarize Robert's key teaching in just 3 principles. Number 1 is that you own your own business. It's very difficult to build wealth with just a job. Number 2 is that you invest in property, utilizing the benefits of debt and taxes. And number 3, you buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. He loves hard assets. So, 2 multi-millionaires, both teach financial education, yet both advise completely different things. Confusing? Well, as with many things in finance, it's no wonder people find it all contradictory and confusing. So let me now show you how I make sense of these teachings and strategies. As I came from a background in financial marketing, I think it all has to do with market segments. Let me give you a visual. Take a look. So think of this picture as the population. It could be of the US, it could be the UK, it could be the world. Now, this could be 70-30 or it could be 90-10, but for simplicity, let's just go with 80-20. Starting with this group of people, this is obviously the majority of people, and the majority of people does have some kind of debt. They don't really have an active interest in finances or investing, and so in general, they have a lower financial IQ. And this market segment, the 20%, this is obviously a niche market. Now, these people do value financial education and they do have an interest in finance and investing. And I can say if you're actually watching this video today, then you're probably in this 20% group by default. And so this segment of people will have a higher financial IQ. And so for these people, Dave Ramsey's work and plan would be excellent. And for these people, it would be Robert Kiyosaki's work and plan that would be most suited. Now, let's just take a quick look at what the average person looks like. We'll do people in the US as it's the largest market, but it really doesn't differ that much from country to country. Starting with, millions of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Roughly half of Americans say they've saved less than $500 in the past 3 months. A great website, NerdWallet, which I will link to below, shows the typical amount of debt that people hold. The average person holds about $6,500 in credit card debt. Average mortgage size is about $200,000. Auto loans is about $30,000. And student loans is approximately $60,000. Now, the good thing this also shows is that year on year, credit card debt has been reducing almost 12%. So I think people are getting more switched on that credit card is the worst kind of debt. And the one that's increased the most is student loan debt. And some stats from Spend Me Not. Just 39% of Americans have enough cash to cover a $1,000 emergency. A third of Americans saved nothing for retirement. Just over 70% of Americans' retirement plan is just to keep working. 40% of Americans have saved less than $300. And the pandemic has only made things worse. 63% of Americans had their personal finances affected by the pandemic. Almost half of Americans have missed one or more rent or mortgage payments since the outbreak. 16% say they have more debt now than before the pandemic. And a third say they've had some kind of decreased income due to the virus. So most people are in some kind of debt. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck. And for most people, starting a business is not good advice. Now, for me, I think most people should start with Dave Ramsey's steps up until a point. When people have 3 to 6 months of expenses in the bank, when people have cleared off all of the bad debt, and when people have some of the key financial habits, then people can look at the more advanced strategies of starting a business or buying rental properties. Make sense? So just coming back to the plans, we can see that the first ones are just great advice for people to save $1,000, to pay off all of the bad debt, and to have 3 to 6 months of expenses in the bank. Then I would say once you get to about here, you have the option. You can carry on with Dave Ramsey's plan, which is much more low risk, but takes more time, investing 15%, paying off your home early, or you can speed up the process and begin building your own business and investing in rental properties. You can build wealth much faster, but you are going to have to invest hundreds of hours of your time. So, 2 multi-millionaires, both financial educators, but with very different plans. But at least now you can see they are in fact suited to different groups of people. For the vast majority of people, Dave Ramsey's plan is excellent. Solid advice that applies to the vast majority of people. And I kind of see it as a 30-year plan that is very low risk. However, just bear in mind that you probably won't be able to retire within 5 to 10 years with Dave Ramsey's baby steps. Okay, ready for a big epiphany moment? Ironically, Dave Ramsey used Robert Kiyosaki's plan to get rich. Think about it. He doesn't have a job, he has a business, and he built a lot of his wealth using real estate. And so Robert Kiyosaki's plan is suited to people with a higher financial IQ, and they are willing and or able to be working evenings, weekends, reading books, doing courses, etc. And so obviously it gives you the opportunity to build wealth and make money much faster. With a business, it is possible to build wealth within 5 to 10 years. But just know you are taking on a lot more risk and you're going to have to invest hundreds of hours of your time. So there you are, guys. Hope this now all makes sense. You can see the benefits of both plans, why they teach what they teach, and which plan is going to be right for you. Just to say then, if you enjoyed anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then click below and join us. I do have some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. Which plan do you prefer, Dave Ramsey or Robert Kiyosaki? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, cheers guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.